HCPian Public School. So today I'm here with a new topic called conservation of plants and animals. So you all know that how plants and animals are important in nature. So today we will learn about conservation of plants and animals, the ways to conserve plants and animals. Okay, so we will start from biosphere. Part of the earth where that supports life is called the biosphere. It is there where all living organisms exist. Now biodiversity, variety of organisms that exist on earth, their interrelationship with the environment is called the biological diversity and the biodiversity. Okay, now let's start our next topic, species. A species refers to a group of organisms, plants and animals including that have common characteristics, for example homo species, etc. Now let's start fauna, flora. Fauna and flora. Flora is the plant of that particular area, okay? The species of plants of that particular area, and the fauna is the species of animals found in the particular area respectively. Now, after learning the flora and flora, we will learn the IUCN, International Union Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources. The main aim of the IUCN is to focus the attention towards the species that are under threat of becoming extinct and therefore promote their conservation process. Now let's talk about the WCO, World Conservation Union. It is the another name of IUCN. So WCO is an international body to study the excess global conservation status of organisms. The conservation of land into the desert is called what? It's called desertification. Okay, now you all know that we have 4 types of species. How many species we have? 4. What are they? Endangered, vulnerable, threatened and endemic species. Now firstly we will talk about the endangered species. Yes, so let's talk about the endangered species. Species that are at high risk of getting extinct in future due to decline in number and a drastic change in habitat are called endangered species. Example are Asian elephant, blue whale, tiger, etc. Now let us talk about the vulnerable species. Species that already exist in low numbers and may become endangered if the causative factors like hunting continue to operate are called vulnerable species. For example, hippopotamus and the polar bear. Now we will understood about the threatened species. In the red list, all the species listed under the categories of endangered and the vulnerable species are together described as threatened species. In the red list, are listed under the combination of, so in the simple way, the combination of vulnerable and the endangered species is known as the threatened species. Now let us talk about the last type of species, that is the endemic species. Endemic species are those species of plants and animals that are found exclusively in a particular geographical area. They are naturally not found anywhere else. Like example, Asiatic lion, Nilgiri tar, lion-tailed macaque, etc. Now we will talk about the conservation of forest and wildlife. Due to the threat from mankind's indulgence, it is important for us to conserve the forest and its wildlife. Wildlife is important for us to maintain the balance in nature. Some of the measures which can which can save the forest and wildlife. I'm telling you. Okay? First is the afforestation. Second, preventing forest fires. Third, prevent overgrazing. Third is the hunting regulation. And fourth is the habitat protection. Now we will learn about some protected areas. Protected areas are undisturbed habitats of wildlife for conserving and maintaining biological diversity. Areas both on land and water are protected through legal laws or other means, like national parks, wildlife sanctuary and biosphere reserve. Now we will talk about all of them, like national parks, wildlife sanctuary and the biosphere reserve. But firstly we will talk about the national parks. A national park is a large protected area that is used for biodiversity conservation. They are developed and maintained by the government union, where other activities like grazing and the cultivation of crops are not allowed. There are about 102 national parks in India. I can name some of them like Jim Corbett National Park for tigers in Uttarakhand, Kaziranga National Park for one-horned rhino in Assam, Gir National Park for Asiatic lions in Gujarat. Now we will talk about the wildlife sanctuary. A wildlife sanctuary is a naturally occurring sanctuary, such as an island that provides protection from for species like hunting, predation, competition or poaching. Poaching is the illegal hunting of animals for the commercial use. Okay, clear? Now, before learning the biosphere reserve, we will talk about the Red Data Book. Red Data Book is the source book which keeps a record of all the endangered species. Species means animals and plants, all endangered animals and plants. Now let's study about the biosphere reserve. A biosphere reserve is the area which aims to conserve biodiversity of the area as well as its culture. It may contain other protected areas within it. For example, Pachmari Biosphere Reserve has a national park called the Satpura National Park and two wildlife sanctuaries called Bori Wildlife Sanctuary and the Pachmari Wildlife Sanctuary. We can make our world greener also by recycling of paper, deforestation, etc. So, our main moral of this topic is that we have to conserve plants and animals. We have to grow more and more plants, okay? We have to stop the hunting, means illegal hunting of animals for our commercial and medicinal use. Example means, which is that? Illegal hunting of plants and animals is called, yes, poaching. Now last is we will talk about the migration. Seasonal movements of birds and animals in a large number from one place to another to overcome unfavorable conditions and returning back to their original habitat. When conditions became favorable, it's called migration. Like for example, Siberian crane, Siberia to Bharatpur in Rajasthan. Now the reasons of migration are: first, to escape the harsh and unfavorable climate conditions. Second is to get more favorable conditions of food, water and climate. And the third is to get a suitable place for development, reproduction and to live. So this is nice. So